Every Christmas or Hanukkah, I felt very ostracized. I went to 5 years of Hebrew school, I got bar mitzvahed, I went through the motions. But I grew up in a Jewish family never believing in God. Started smoking weed when I was 12 years old, went from weed to Quaaludes to cocaine. About 23, I owned my own business. I became extremely successful. I was living on the water in Long Island, had my first Mercedes, I had a beautiful boat, I had everything that you would want. At the age of 40, I met somebody at a party one night. He introduced me to meth. And it hooked me in a moment. It took over my life. Everything that I had started to disappear. I had lost almost every tooth in my mouth. I was 90 pounds less than I am now. My kids then went to live with their mom. That was the point where I called my brother and I said, I need help. They brought me to this rehabilitation center. I remember the bus stop, looking into my sons and daughters' eyes. And I remember my son looking up at me, crying, begging me not to go. And I said to him, I have to leave, because if I stay, I'm gonna die. I cried out to God. And I said, God, if you're real, then you have to show me. I desperately want to be a father to my son and daughter. I was there until the week of Christmas, 2006. I was living not on the street, but in weeklies. I tried to get a job at a McDonald's, tried to get a job at a hardware store. I went to the state to get food stamps to try to get back on my feet. And I was smoking weed again, but I didn't fall back into that heavy-duty addiction. I then found a job as a salesman. I befriended the manager, and he kept on talking about his wife being saved. I didn't know what saved meant. And I asked him, would you mind if I go to church with you? I had nothing else. So I went to church with him. I sat down, worship music started. Everybody stood up and I couldn't stand. My knees buckled. I just started to weep uncontrollably. And as soon as the message was over, the pastor asked if there's anybody here in this audience that would like to know Christ as their Lord and Savior. Both of my arms went up, uncontrollably, not of my own power. I knew Christ. I knew he was real. I knew that he reached down into my heart. I knew that my life would never, ever be the same. I stopped drugs, and I wanted nothing in my life but my children and my God. And I put everything that I had into understanding who Christ was in my life and what my purpose was. Because here I was my entire life searching, grasping at things that never satisfied. On Christmas, we celebrate the fact that Christ was born. He came to heal people like me to become his child so that he could show me grace and mercy that I could never find in this world. So this is a message of hope and of joy that he's got me at a place in my life where I never thought I'd be. I should be dead. The love that I feel of the people that surround me, they don't see the horrible things that I've done in my life. They see an individual that's been transformed. My name is Brandwein, and this is my story.